Yeah, I mean, if he is back, it's going to be in a limited capacity. He'll almost certainly be on a rep count. My my thought is he'll start on the pup, um, and miss 4 games. I'm starting to lean in that direction. Did see him yesterday, walking off the field. You know, seems fine, but of course he's fine. Strain pack is not going to impact your only if you're trying to get stronger in the weight room. So tough to tell. Eagles are obviously not going to be completely honest about it. Vic tends to be, and he's concerned that he's not going to be available for week one. If he's not going to be available for week one, that tells me you might as well put him on the shelf for a month because that injury, you're going to need time to get your upper body back because you've been limited. Like he can work out his lower body, but obviously if you
Yeah,
can't
no
go,
bench pressing,
yeah, you can't go
nothing.
bench
Yeah,
pressing with it.
no,
Yeah. So
can't do anything on the upper body, really. I mean,
yeah,
everything
so
kind of pulls from the pec in some ways or another.
yeah.
Triceps, all of it.
So if he's not ready for week one, that tells me he's going to have at least a 2 week ramp up. So you might as well put him out for the first 4 games, and that gives you an extra roster spot to play with early. um, so that's the way I'm leaning. Uh, on the other hand, if there's a chance he can be back by week one, obviously you want him out there, even if it's limited 25. Say he's got a 25 rep count. That's still going to help you. So it's kind of dependent. If he's not ready for week one, I would say put him on pup because he's going to need that ramp up period anyway. Or keep him on pup. He already is on pup, but um, yeah. So that's how I would handle it. We'll see
Yeah,
how they handle it.
yeah, we'll see how long he's out. I feel a little bit better about the depth of that room now, but I guess with injury concerns to him, and then Nolan's been a guy who's been injured in his career. You got to keep an eye on it. But overall, feels like a pretty solid depth room. And Jalyx Hunt, I read again that Jalyx Hunt had a great practice. I think it was
Yeah, kid.
BLJ. Just keeps raving about Jalyx Hunt, man.
Yeah, he's been probably the MVP of the summer, I would say, to this point. And there's only 2 practices left, so he's probably going to win that mythical award. He's been great. He is. I would say he's lapped Nolan Smith as the number 2, and now there's you know talk about can he take the leap and be a legitimate top tier edge rusher. And you know I'll tell you what, he was talking to us yesterday. He's got the right mindset, like, as far as how he handles the job. And he was asked about breaking out last year. Did he think he break out? And he said he didn't like that sort of terminology because, you know, from his perspective, he's working hard and he expected to, have that kind of success where he led the team in sacks and interceptions, which is something you rarely see. And he mentioned Zach Bond as a guy that just someone he's admired. Um, and he was talking about his, work ethic as a professional and learning from him. Just keep putting in the work, um, and it will come through. Um, so he said his breakout was no surprise to him because he was working towards that. So it's coming to a fruition. But I did think it was notable that he said he admired Zach Bond, learned from Zach Bond, what we're talking about with Makai Lemon, how to be a professional, how to
Right.
do, like, you have to learn to be a professional. Ty Robinson went through that. He was talking about it. It's like you come in, it's a whole different world. Now, we joke a lot in college about, um, you know, going to class and things like that. But you do have, even if it's not that important. You do have these other things you have to do. You can't focus on football. When you get to the pro level, it's your entire job. Everything is focused on football. And the true superstars are always working on it. I always talk about the off season. You can't just leave in at the end of the spring and go on vacation and show up for training camp if you want to be a star in this league. You have to do all that stuff. You have to work out on your own. You have to keep it going, um, or you're going to get lapped. You're going to get left behind. So it's important to learn how to be a professional, and that might be the most difficult part of the leap from college to pros. That and that's why you see the jump so many times from year 1 to year 2, and why it's so rare to have Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean just hit the ground running. It's more the better trajectory or the more normal trajectory, not the better one, is sort of learn how to be a professional, and then year 2, you start showing improvement, significant improvement.
Yeah, well, it's exciting on Jalyx. I mean, if he has got a big year this year, John, I mean, you think he'd be front of the line for a paycheck?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, he'll be eligible after this season. And yeah, if he gets double digits in sacks, and
Let's say he
he's
gets
getting,
12 sacks this year. Are they
yeah,
paying
he's
him this
well,
next summer?
yeah, they'll try. They'll try. I mean, I think
Cooper, Quinyon, Jalyx potentially, Jalen Hurts
Jalen
potentially.
Hurts, yeah, they got a lot of work to do, but
A
I
lot
don't
of work
worry.
to do.
I don't worry about the
I know
contract.
you always say that, but at what point is it is it
Well,
just so much to
it's already
manage?
started. I mean, the players they're going to make decisions about. Like they're not going to re-sign Moro Joma. They're not going to re-sign Nolan Smith. Those are the decisions. They're
What
going
if
they're
Nolan has a big year?
well, then it can shift. They could always shift. It could always shift back. But right now, if you're projecting the guys right now, Jalyx to me is past Nolan Smith, and they're going to make the difficult decision on Nolan and let him walk. And they already made their decision at defensive tackle, and unfortunately, Moro Jomo is. They tried to sign him. They tried to sign him to an extension.
Did they? Did they try to
Oh
get
yeah,
Mora?
yeah. But he's smart enough to know, and he learned from Milton. He's going to get an opportunity. Well, he already got the opportunity. He showed he can play. And if he plays well against this year, he's going to cash in.
Some have said it was a mistake to let Milton go in favor of Davis.
Different positions, man. I like that bothers me.
Yeah, but
Like,
if you have Milton and Carter, does that in theory give you a better defensive tackle group?
no, you need to play this defense. You need a nose tackle to do what Vic wants to do. You need a nose tackle. So who do you have at nose tackles? Zion Wilson? You don't have a natural nose tackle,
Right.
other than Jordan Davis. They are two completely different positions. You have two guys doing, Milton can play 3-4-I-5. Jalen plays 3-4-I-5. They're the same position. And they can play a bunch of different techniques. And they can line, I always say, they can line up in one or shade. Anybody can do it. You and I could line up there. Can you do it effectively? They will not be able to do it effectively. I always go back to Jonathan Gannon's first year. He was playing Vic's scheme. He wanted the multiple fronts, the variable fronts, but he didn't have a nose tackle. So people didn't even know he was copying Vic's defense. He had to use Javon Hargrave, who was a heck of a player, but he was a 3. He was a 4-eye. He was not a nose tackle, and he had to use him at nose tackle, and it wasn't great. And then they got Jordan Davis, and that wasn't even at his height, Jordan Davis, but you need the nose tackle in this defense. They are completely different positions. Now, they say defensive tackle, But Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter play completely different positions.
I'm happy that Milton Williams is living up to it. It's not easy to live up to a free agency contract like that, John. And
no, it is not.
He is, which is pretty
I
awesome
didn't think
for him.
he'd live up to it, to be honest. And I love Milton, and I talked about how good he was, but even I didn't think he'd live up to that contract, and he did. So he deserves a ton of credit for it.